Time for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, hello again, everybody, and welcome in Patrick Johnson Show here on 94.3 The Game and the IBX Media app as we continue on here, a little midweek edition of the PJ Show on this fourth day of February. Pilk, I'm watching the clash, the qualifying at Bowman Gray. Are you proud of me?
I'm very proud.
The screen here, yeah. Should
Very
be proud of me. It's exciting. And there's snow still kind of adorning the ground in Winston-Salem and around the track even. I think this is fantastic. That could be a first for NASCAR.
I don't think it's a first, but it's definitely a few and far between.
It's a very few and far between, undoubtedly so. Boy, what a busy day for you. So everybody, okay, we were going to do the basketball game on radio, but after we got off the air yesterday, within about 30 minutes of us leaving the air, the women's basketball game got pushed up to 2 o'clock, and it just was not logistically possible. And probably for my own health, given what begins next week, it was probably wise not to do that. Jam in my day and all of that sort of stuff. And it would have created some logistical issues with getting this show in today. So anyway, we got Shane Winkler coming up, ECU softball coach. Looking forward to having him on this rainy and gloomy in eastern North Carolina Wednesday. And a lot of folks, Pilk, have checked on me. I'm okay. I got a little bit of a muscle deal from coughing. So I'm trying to be muted somewhat today so I don't get into cough because it's painful to cough.
Yeah.
It's painful to cough. You've had this happen before.
I have. I don't know if it was a cough or a sneeze that did it, but I did something to my back one time.
It's still painful. Yeah, this is here in the – so if any physicians are listening and tell me if I should be panicked, let me know. Let me know. All right, but I am feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. You know, still not – I think it's some of the medicine I'm taking has also kind of dried my throat out a little bit. So that's probably one of the reasons I sound a little raspy. But because my throat does not hurt. I'm in no pain that way. Let's see. Let's get into it. We'll talk some softball with Shane Winkler, one of our favorite guests. Finally got him on the program. But let's hit a break, or let's hit the top five. We'll do that here to start things off.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard.
You ready?
Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
Number one.
You know, it was 2 weeks ago I met some intern that I don't think's ever been in for the show. But he had come aboard apparently back in, November, December?
Yeah, I think early December, right before break.
Who was that?
Isaiah.
Is he still with us?
He is. He's been coming in a lot more for Steven's show because your show usually is pretty packed with interns on the afternoon. He's one of the few that actually has noon availability. So.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I'd like him in at noon when he has noon availability. I got
yeah.
You. All right. Good deal. Good deal. By the way, Pilk, 10 days to the Daytona 500. 11 to the Daytona 500. Are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going? Did you work that out with Shook?
No, I did not work it out with Shook.
Why didn't you go?
Trust me, I want to go.
You to go.
You did.
Said,
Shook did.
Go. I said, don't worry about it. Go, and we'll figure it out. We got enough. This is the year to go if you were going to go because there are people that knew what they were doing.
Well, some of our people that we have who we trust a lot during football and basketball have never done a baseball game, and there are some weird things with baseball, so we might need somebody sitting in with them first game.
There's not anything weird going on with baseball.
Well, you got to add breaks. So with the network, you can't add them in. But with baseball, when you have like 40 million pitching changes like you do in college baseball, because you only got 2 guys who are worth a damn on any staff, you end up adding breaks in, and it's a whole thing.
Number one,
East Carolina women's basketball wins it 64-62 over South Florida to remain in second place in the conference. Pirates trailed by 13 at halftime. They iced the game late with 6 free throws, going 6 for 6 from the charity stripe in the final 45 seconds of the game, in which Ajane Hutton went 2 for 2 and Jayla Herp went 4 for 4 in that time frame.
this is a text I got midway the first half. You're so lucky you couldn't come to do this game. And there's some more stuff. But it was brutal. It was the proverbial rock fight. It was a tractor pull in the mud. There was not a whole lot going on there that made you confident that East Carolina was going to come back. I think 14 is the biggest come from behind in conference this year. But it was not a pretty game. East Carolina through the first 3 quarters scored 35 points. They scored 29 in the fourth quarter. And closed in a real flurry to win. The thing that concerned me today is you had your 5 starters play 30 or more minutes, all of them. Fauntleroy, the point guard, played 39 minutes. So you had the whole kind of and Savannah Barnes, who's a mainstay, hurt. So it was even not herself coming back after missing the Charlotte game with an ankle. So outside of those 5 we mentioned that were the starters that played 30 or more minutes, Zealous was the only other double-figure minute player for the Pirates, and she's not a real offensive threat. I mean, she defends and is athletic and certainly can rebound. But it was kind of a February conference basketball game. Coach is tight with the rotation, and it was sort of a slog, and that's what it was. So look, ECU right now, sole possession of second place. We've talked about the top 10 getting into the American Conference Tournament, both men's and women's, and we've talked about that because the Pirates are trying to get into the top 10 on the men's side. What we haven't talked about is that the American has taken a page out of the West Coast Conference book, and that is if you're a top 2 seed in either the women's or the men's tournament, you get a bye all the way to the semifinals.
Yeah.
So it's imperative if you're East Carolina to finish in second place. So today was a huge win.
It was. And, you mentioned it was tight rotation for early February. Feels like an early February game. The other thing, it felt like these girls were told very late yesterday afternoon this game was going to be moved up. Right. I thought, sleepwalking's not a good word because it wasn't like nobody wanted to be there, but it was just sloppy. I looked at Donnell after one quarter and I said, this is the type of game where all the people who bag on women's basketball, what they describe it as, this is what it looks like. And, from both teams. And then all of a sudden, South Florida picked it up and started playing some competent basketball there in the second quarter. And then East Carolina still didn't play really good in the second or the third. But despite, like you said, Patrick, all 5 starters playing 30-plus minutes, I will say they were more conditioned than the South Florida team. I thought the South Florida team looked sluggish late in the game. I don't know what you could tell on TV. I could tell a decent amount from Media Row, but our friend Zach Kaplan said down on the court he could see a different look in their eye, and it just felt like the wheels were falling off for South Florida. Sure enough, it does, and East Carolina now 9-2 in league play and guaranteed at least a 500 record in conference play. Of course, we're not hoping or projecting 7 straight losses down the stretch by any means.
They'll play Tulane next Tuesday in New Orleans. Go to Philadelphia the following Saturday on Valentine's Day. Be back at home for Florida Atlantic. But the big one right now, at least from where I sit, Pilk, is February 21st, which is a Saturday, 1 o'clock, at home, first place Rice, who now leads you by a game in the loss column. They'll go to Tulsa last game of the year, and that's who they were tied with for second today, but they owned the tiebreaker where they kicked Tulsa's tail when they played them in Greenville early in the season or earlier this year. And, I mean, you got to win your games, obviously, but you got back-to-back road games. That's a tough situation. The top team in the conference coming to your place for a Saturday game, and wouldn't it be refreshing in some ways to see the crowd respond and folks show up on that Saturday?
Yeah, I think
it'd be great.
It'd be perfect. You know, East Carolina will be on the road in baseball, so you can't use the baseball excuse that you were at the baseball game. They'll be in Chapel Hill that day, or is it Durham? I can't remember if that's the neutral site game or the road game. And look, the crowd was decent. The crowd was decent today. Now, a lot of that was due to the football team showing up. So shout out to Coach Harrell and his staff and the players. They all showed up. But other than that, the crowd was better than I thought it would be, considering it was the middle of the day, middle of the week. But it's a big opportunity to see what could portray them into, well, I guess as of now, you know, you'd still be in second place. But, hey, a lot can change between now and then.
Yep. Just got to win some games.
Number 2.
But an amazing comeback today, if you really think about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought they were dead to rights on that one. Number 2, last night, after there's been a lot of speculation on Twitter of Mr. Beast in East Carolina, he did at least interact with the post for the first time ever, saying, "Should I do it?" with a laughing, crying face, as a post that said Mr. Beast should donate $100 million to East Carolina athletics.
To buy a national champion football team is the meme. And it's like an AI meme. It doesn't even look like Mr. Beast. It looks like an actor playing Mr. Beast in a movie, at a very low budget one at that. So, look, I've said all along, you know, and I'm glad Igo had the thought to put this out today. That whole Mr. Beast Enterprises uses ECU athletic and just overall university facilities for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're charging, if they're even charging anything at all. But to me, it would make sense to. I don't want to get the Dowdies or the Ficklins upset, but wouldn't a Mr. Beast Stadium look really cool? I mean, John Gilbert said, if you remember, a little over a year ago, Pilk, naming rights are on the table.
Yeah.
For corporate naming rights. Or Mr. Beast Arena, Coliseum, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
To me, there's got to be a way to not only get the brand synergy, which would be huge, but to maybe be able to get some of that money to go towards NIL and to go to rev share and that kind of thing. Here's the thing that, you know, would Mr. Beast even entertain the idea of doing it? If they would give him the access that he would need to create content with it, maybe so. Because that's really, at the end of the day, what it would be about, would be creating content.
I think that's the key thing, Patrick. He is not going to be like these donors at Texas Tech that live vicariously through the team who are content, hey, I'll write this massive check. My return on investment is wins. He's going to need a monetary return on investment. That monetary is content. I think a partnership is not totally off the table, but again, it would have to be some sort of mutual agreement. I don't think he's going to walk in, slap a check in somebody's hand and say, hey, go win a natty. That's good enough for me. The guys at Texas Tech, they're alumni. They care about sports a lot. They live, breathe, and die Texas Tech athletics. They can do that. I just don't see Mr. Beast caring quite enough here at East Carolina to, do it that way.
You know, even if he did 50, hell, if he did 25, it'd be great. One can hope. It'd be great if he did something.
3.
Don't you know people over there? Can't you reach out?
I do not know Mr. Beast people now.
You did.
Number 3, speaking of
you do.
moolah and college
D-Rock.
athletics.
D-Rock. You know D-Rock.
Oh, he did some side stuff with them, but he's not like in with them. But D-Rock is our guy. D-Rock Alcorn,
and I think Cookie's lady of interest may have one time.
That's right. I think she was at one time. Yeah. Speaking of money in college athletics, Florida State ain't got none. There's Cookie. He's laughing at the Noles, who are $437 million in debt right now.
Nobody is going to take Florida State.
No, not anymore. They weren't going to take them anyways.
But now they're definitely not. Florida State is in a rough position because, and this smacks to me of mismanagement. This is not.
Yeah.
We're not getting paid enough money to compete at a high level. You're not able to manage the money you've been afforded. They are the number 2 institution in one of the most populous states in America, which is pretty good. But
are they too?
They're still as far as prestige, they're considered the number 2 university. Yeah, Florida's 1, Florida State's 2, and then I guess you can make the argument that UCF is 3. I'm talking about the public.
Oh yeah. Is Miami not public?
Institutions. No, it's private. Miami's a private. That was the knock all these years, is that Miami didn't have the alumni base because it was private, which didn't stop it back in the 80s or 90s, but whatever. But
it's public. Oh no, this is the one in Ohio. What the hell? All right, never mind. I'll shut up now. I googled Miami University. It says public university, and then it says Oxford, Ohio.
By the way, isn't it Miami of Ohio now 23-0 in basketball?
Yes, they are. They were on the ropes the other night again against Buffalo.
And won.
Yep.
Former Pirate opponent, Buffalo, who also has a win. So East Carolina and Miami of Ohio are 2-0 against Buffalo this year.
They are.
But if you look at the and we talked. Who was it? Rutgers was in this financial peril. I mean, nothing to the tune. What is the number again?
437 just last year.
Okay, that's 1 year. That's not a combined situation, right? Now, I mean, I know there was the lawsuit, but I mean, they had with the ACC. This entire thing, Pilk, is not sustainable. At some point, there's a breaking point. At some point, there has to be a breaking point. At some point, schools are going to just say, look, we can't do this anymore. And I mean, where's the university's board of trustees or regents or whatever they're calling them at Florida State? Where's their governing body over as the university who thinks this is fine? It's just, and it's like I think 71% of the university's debt is athletics.
That was the number 71.
That's crazy.
The problem is, like you said, it all comes down to mismanagement. They've hired these people who they blindly trust, and that's what it comes down to. The board of trustees aren't the issue. It's the blind trust they have had in the people they have hired, and those people are making mistakes, and they're not looking behind them. Yeah. I've been saying they're not the ones blowing the money, and you can't blindly trust anybody. That's the problem.
It's not a good thing. And look, it's not like there's a pot of gold waiting on the other side of the rainbow here.
No.
I mean, this is going to continue to run up. I mean, at what point does it become $600 million? Does it become $750? Does it become $1 billion? What's the tipping point?
Crazy, man.
It's hard to imagine. No, it really is. It's insane. And I just you can't. How do you keep this? I don't see how these places are going to do it. Again, we're even talking people in the Power Four are not going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing, Pilk. I'll bet you dollars to donuts. There are SEC and Big Ten school. Well, we know there's a Big Ten school in Rutgers. There are SEC schools that are in this same situation. I guarantee you they're in this same situation.
4.
Alrighty, number 4, NBA trade deadline less than 24 hours away. Some notable trades. The Charlotte Hornets have acquired Mike Conley Jr. and Goldsboro native Kobe White in a trade that sent Colin Sexton and Ashme Dieng to the Bulls. A couple other notable ones. James Harden is now
hang on, Bill. Let me comment on that one.
All right.
Does this mean that your Charlotte Hornets, America's team, are contenders? Now, let's keep in mind they're getting 2026 Mike Conley, not 2016 Mike Conley.
Yeah. I don't think they're contenders, but at least it proves they're willing to add to the backcourt depth, which is something I think they really need right now. That's going to allow Melo to play a little more off the ball. So I like what they did. And hey, it proves they're going out and trying to win. And hey, Coach Winkler got you on there, buddy. Coach just signed on. So.
Oh, good. All right. What are the other trades?
The other big ones is Anthony Davis to the Wizards. Wizards have now bought Trae Young and Anthony Davis, and they are still last in the East. And the other one is James Harden is a Cavalier.
I'm glad that the unibrow went to Washington. He was making noise of wanting to go back to the Lakers, but he's never able to play. He was always hurt. He's one of those guys that is always hurt.
Best ability is availability.
Absolutely. The Harden thing is interesting because he was traded from the Clippers, right?
Yep.
He had been with the Clippers. I mean, he's Russell Westbrook now. A guard-dominant ball ball-dominant guard who can't play, who really can't play. And nobody wants him. He goes to a place for a year. He'd even stay a year in L.A. with the Clippers after signing with them for a one-year contract. They couldn't deal with it, so they got rid of him.
Yeah.
Sent him to Cleveland. And how does this help Cleveland? I don't see how it does.
I don't know, man. Cleveland, the East is open. It really is. I think the Knicks and the Pistons are definitely the favorites. If you get a healthy Tatum by the playoffs, you'll throw Boston in that. But
maybe if like Mitchell and he can play together, maybe. But I mean, I don't see that. I don't either. I don't see how this.
It's a weird move for Cleveland.
It's a very disappointing year in Cleveland. More so than any other year because most years are disappointing in Cleveland.
5.
All righty, number.
Live there.
Yeah. A lot of hey, when Shador's your quarterback.
Your disappointment.
Yeah.
Well, that. Change the name to the Guardians. All right, go ahead.
All right, number 5 because we got to get to Coach Winkler here. As you mentioned, PJ earlier in the show, the NASCAR season starts tonight. Clash at Bowman Gray just after 6:00 on Big Fox. The last chance qualifier wrapped up as we were going on the air. And this is kind of fun. Run inside Bowman Gray Stadium, opened back in the 30s. PJ, real quick, any idea who the first college football game at Bowman Gray was played between?
Wake Forest and somebody.
Wake Forest is right. The other team went by a different name back then, a different college name. They've since changed it.
Duke is Trinity?
It was. Ding, ding, ding. Good job.
All right. There you go. Speaking of Duke, how about Duke last night with Boston College?
It was ugly. But they needed an ugly one before they get the Tar Heels.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back. Shane Winkler will join us. Pirate softball season gets underway in a couple of days, and Coach Winkler on the Patrick Johnson Show for a preseason look at Pirate softball.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Back to the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back. We got a jam-packed show, so let's get started.
Deep breath. Here we go.
ECU softball set to start the regular season in Atlanta, Georgia in a couple of days. And Shane Winkler is the head coach of the Pirates joining us here on the program. Perfect weather today, coach, for softball. Softball weather.
Yeah, mid-season form with the weather now.
Well, how do you practice? What do you do? How do you make it in this? The indoor facility is not yet fully constructed. So what do you do on? I know you got an area indoors, one of the better indoor batting cages in the American. How do you deal with all of this? How do you work around it?
Yeah, for the past couple of days, we spent a lot of time in the cage, get some machine work for our hitters. Coach Lexi gets to turn it over a lot, so our hitters get to see her in the cage, get a little live at-bats in. Fortunately, we were able to get some work done, and our grounds crew was able to get some work done getting the snow off the tarp on Tuesday. So the past 2 days, we're at least able to get on the dirt. So no full field work, but I think we've got plenty of that in over the past month since we've been back from break. So we feel like we've got good work in. Obviously, as a coach, you start worrying that you don't get enough full field reps in, but our girls have looked really good, looked really sharp on the field today, getting some infield work in, the swings we've been taking. So we're ready to go. We head down early morning, and it's going to be a good test all weekend long at Georgia Tech.
I don't think there's going to be any precip. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any forecast. And so, I mean, you'll be able to play. When you go to something like that and it's just games on top of games, because this is one of those, you're playing, for example, Sunday, a doubleheader against Georgia Tech, which will be on the ACC Network Extra at noon with the second game to follow. Again, that's Sunday for the Pirates. When you go to something like that, I mean, are the facilities as such as that you have time to work, or is it just such game mode at that point that even early season you're not able to maybe get what would be conventional kind of practice in?
Yeah, we won't get any practice down there. We'll travel all day tomorrow. We'll get there. The tournament actually kicks off with some games tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. So we'll get a chance to watch Villanova play, who we open up with on Friday. So we'll get to see them. We'll get to see them against Alabama and against Georgia Tech. So no opportunity to practice tomorrow. It'll be a travel day. So we'll get down there as early as we can, watch some games to kind of hopefully knock the nerves off to some of the girls that haven't experienced this level of play by watching a little bit. And then we'll get things kicked off early Friday. So all the practice, all the preparation's been done. I got an opportunity to watch a little bit of film on Villanova and Alabama today, because that's who we'll open up with Friday. And then the girls get a chance on the bus to watch a little more video on the way down for those that keep their eyes open. But yeah, all the preparation's done. We're excited. We've had plenty of scrimmages against ourselves with some inter squads, and I think every person on our roster is excited to finally play against somebody else.
Alabama's a top 20 team. Villanova will be no pushover. Georgia Tech is pretty good. This is a heck of a way to open the season.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, this is really a mini regional in its own. You got Alabama good enough to host the regional every year. Georgia Tech was in the regionals last year. Villanova annually is one of the better teams in the Big East, and we feel like our team and our roster is in a position to make a push for regional play. So it'll be a nice little baby regional to start the season off. So we've got a really tough schedule ahead of us, especially the first couple weekends of the season to test and see where our team's at, kind of prepare ourselves for American play. But this weekend will be a real challenge with obviously getting Alabama with Georgia Tech. And then, like I said, Villanova is one of the better teams in the Big East. So we're excited to get our girls challenged against real top-notch competition.
And then Purple Gold Classic the weekend of Valentine's and into Max Joyner Stadium will be Buffalo, but also Notre Dame and Maryland. And, in fact, our first ESPN Plus broadcast full production will be on the 15th against Maryland at 12:30. Looking forward to that. Man, what a start that is. Your first two. I mean, Maryland. I mean, they're in the Big Ten for better or for worse. I mean, they'll come in as a highly funded kind of program, high major funded program. But then Notre Dame, I mean, there's the brand name there. I know they came in and played a couple years ago, and they're coming back, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we got our attention on this opening weekend, but once we get past this weekend, we get 3 straight home tournament weekends. So plenty of opportunities for the fans to come out to the Max and catch our team. But yeah, starting February 13th, Buffalo out of the MAC, but then you get 2 games with Notre Dame, 2 games with Maryland, 7 of our first 10 games on our schedule against P4 opponents. So people may look at me like I'm crazy for how tough our schedule is early on, but again, we want to test our team and kind of put together hopefully a strength of schedule resume that is worthy of an at-large look at the end of the season if we take care of business. And I mean, we're going to get challenged all season long. Obviously, we got those games. Duke's always on the schedule, who's top 20. Stanford coming in here as a top 20 team. Then we get our home and home against NC State, and then North Carolina finally coming to our place. So all season long, we've got a lot of fun games on the schedule to look forward to starting this weekend.
How did you sell your soul to get North Carolina to come to Greenville?
Their old staff, we were going to go each year, switch who got the home game. Coming in, wanted a 2-for-1. So we just want them on our schedule. We've had success there during my time visiting there, winning a couple big games, traveling that way. So it's exciting to finally get them coming back here to Greenville on the schedule. And if it has to be a 2-for-1, we'll do that. If there's any way we can talk them into even a home and home like we have in NC State, we're all about that because we love competing against obviously the better teams in the state. And since we've had success with them in the past, it's one that we want to keep on the schedule. Worst case, it has to be a 2-for-1. We want the opportunity to compete against them.
We're visiting with Shane Winkler here, the head softball coach of the East Carolina Pirates. Their season begins on Friday as they head down to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech, Alabama, and Villanova. One of the teams that will be in that we mentioned earlier, Shane, was Alabama, and they have Audrey Vandegrift, who was one of the top freshmen in the country a year ago. Are you, do you kind of hope? I know you got to play each game to win it at the time. Do you almost kind of hope each one of your 4 pitchers can see a batter like this because it's the best batter you're probably going to see in the early part of the season, but you're going to continue to see some of these level of players throughout the season. You mentioned Duke. They've got a few one preseason All-American as well, and then there's some great hitters in this conference too.
Yeah, I mean, our pitchers, we've only got 4 of them on staff this year, which is 1 less than we had the past few years, but we feel like our pitching staff is deeper with 4 than we have since I've been here. All 4 are going to have opportunities to throw in big games. And like talking about our schedule already with how much we'll be challenged with some of the opponents that we have coming in here and some that we're going to play, our pitchers are going to have to face some big-time All-American type hitters all year long with obviously Vandegrift with Alabama, like you said. Georgia Tech's got some kids that can swing it. Villanova's got a player on their roster with 20 home runs last year. So every single one of our pitchers are going to get challenged. We're going to have to find the best matchups for our kids every time out. But I mean, we're excited. Our players that transferred in here and the freshmen that came here knowing that we're putting together this type of schedule year in and year out now, and that's the type of kids that they want to face. And like you said, the Americans got some really top talent in it year in and year out. It's a multi-bid league, has been for years now. So we're going to need to not only compete against that type of schedule, we got to find a way to be successful against top 25 opponents.
And speaking of those pitchers, Taylor Apple coming into her junior year now, it seems like she's kind of the face of the pitching staff. So you've had her now on campus for, 30 months, 32 months now. How have you seen her grow in her time here in a Pirate uniform?
Just maturing as a pitcher, really. When she came in early on, it was more of a thrower, good velocity. She's doing a lot better job of changing speeds, which is key. So if she can stay ahead of batters, change speeds, give hitters different looks, I mean, she's tough to hit with the way her ball spins, how she can keep it up in the zone. But we've got some other arms around her that can complement her a lot, to where we can kind of have a two-headed monster at the top of the rotation with Julia Apostolakos, who's a real hard thrower from South Florida. Sydney Rainford, a freshman, is gonna do some special things with our program starting this year, and she'll be thrown into the fire with some of the opponents that we're facing. And then Abby Hune is a completely different look than our three other pitchers, the ability to spin it down in the zone, change speed. So, Taylor Apple has the most experience of anyone on our roster, but we're going to need all four to be successful.
Coach Shane Winkler joining us here on the Patrick Johnson Show today. Let's talk about a couple other returners at the plate that I know you feel like you can rely on. Anna Sawyer is back for her senior year and has really embraced the role of kind of being that senior leader, Shane. So a little bit on her off season and how she's looked so far in the fall and preseason.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on the leadership role, and that's the biggest thing with Anna. I mean, going back to May, we've talked about in the past, just having the exit with her after we finished up our conference tournament last year, and just kind of telling her, listen, like, the wheel's yours. Like, you get to drive the bus now. This is your program. And being an ECU fan like she is lifelong, like, she bleeds purple and gold, so she embraced that role, and I think that's helped her on the field. Being able to be herself a little more, being able to be more vocal as a leader. I mean, she's taken that onto the field, and she's going to put a lot of pressure on herself, which is fine, because pressure's a privilege when you're talking about a player like that. So we're expecting big things from her. And then a couple of the other returners, Kenesha Anderson, who's going to set the tone for our offense, top of the lineup. I mean, she has been outstanding since the fall, has continued on with our inner squads that we've had. Chloe Geyer, Gabby Fowler will be middle of the lineup type kids that are return that we're expecting some big things from. Everyone knows from a defensive standpoint what MK Scott can do over at shortstop, and she's been swinging the bat pretty well. And then Trinity Nichols, another local kid, will be on the infield as a starter that'll make an impact for us. So we've got plenty of returners that had some success last year that we're looking forward to, and then a big transfer class and some freshmen coming in that'll make an impact as well.
Yeah, who are some of those players, Shane? Who are some of your transfer position players and freshman position players that we may see?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time this summer on the transfer class, bringing in 8 this summer. Really excited about some of the impact players that we have. Sarah Stone is a game changer. I mean, everyone following our program knows that we were hit from the transfer portal a little bit for the first time last year with losing an Emma Jackson, who's one of the better players in the conference. Sarah Stone has the ability to do everything that Emma did. It's big shoes to fill, but I mean, she's a former first team All Big Ten player at Indiana. So we bring her back coming in, putting her behind the plate as a leader, as a catcher for us. But the kid is a great athlete, ton of power. So we still have the ability to leave the park with one swing of the bat. So we're excited about what she'll do. Haley Dieter is one from an offensive standpoint, left-handed stick, which is huge for our lineup, being able to stack it on the left side as much as possible. Has been swinging it really well. We're excited about what she'll do offensively. And then I already mentioned Julia Apostolakos, what she'll do in the pitching circle, can also swing the bat for us. And then we've got a handful of other role players as well.
Shane, you talked about some of the players that are coming in. I think that, or teams that are coming into play. I think this speaks to a couple things. That the program is on solid footing, and it's a quality program, so and it plays in a really good league. So when someone like Stanford comes in, or any of the local ACCs, or Notre Dame, or whoever comes in, they know that it's not going to, be a ding on them in any way to play in East Carolina. And then the facilities at the Max and surrounding, I mean, those are first-class facilities as well. And, I know the coach at Duke's talked to me about, the enjoying coming here because of the quality of the field and the quality of the facility. So, I think that's a couple of things you kind of got going for you as you continue to build up this program.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, obviously our facility speaks for itself. It's, I think, the top of our conference, and it's better than a lot of P4 facilities out there. We've had a lot of Power 4 coaches come in there and look at our place and be like, well, this is better than what we have. We've had some Big Ten coaches say that, and we'll have the same thing next week when we get a Big Ten opponent in, that we've got a facility that matches up with, if not surpasses, what they have. So that's a big part of it. But it means a lot for us, and it says a lot about our program and the resources that we have and support that we have from our administration, that we're in a position where some Power 4 opponents would come to play here in Greenville. Obviously, some of those northern schools got to get on the road, but
sure.
There's across the country, a lot of tournaments being held. So for them to choose to come here says a lot about the competition that they'll see, and then kind of what they're coming to.
Can you drive on snow, being from Indiana? You clearly can, right? I mean, you've driven on snow before in your life, right?
Out of practice.
Out of practice, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we
Shane Winkler
growing up.
All right, Shane Winkler here. Let me ask you this: you got the conference tournament also. You're going to be hosting this year. So how did that kind of come together, and what are the dates on that, and what does that look like? And maybe even speak a little bit to how you see the conference regular season race shaking out.
Yeah, we're excited. Bring the conference tournament back to the Max, because there's no better place to play a conference tournament. There's no better place to win than on your home field. In order to get the conference tournament, it basically goes out. Schools in the conference have an opportunity to bid, whether it be a year or two out. The coaches will kind of vote on where they prefer to go to. We rank the places that bid, whether it's 4, 5, 6 schools, depending on the year, that are bidding for the following year. And we've got obviously, we talked about our facilities, the weather and everything that we have in North Carolina in May. So it's kind of a perfect storm of everything coming together on the place to be. So, I mean, we're excited about that. It's going to be a challenging league, like it always is. I talked about earlier on about it being a multi-bid league every season. There's been a lot of turnover in the American. So when we look and did our preseason voting on teams, it's tough, because like our roster with bringing in 8 transfers, there's a lot of programs that had some turnover, that have new faces that haven't played together yet. So, I mean, anywhere from kind of 2 to 8 in the conference can be flipped around to see where they finish. I think FAU had a great season last year. They're a top 25 team. They're the favorites right now, but we like the way we match up with anyone in our league throughout the entire conference play. And then we showed last year during the conference tournament that we have the ability, and we think we have the talent to make a run.
Pilk, anything for Shane before we wrap up here?
Yeah, Shane. Well, a little off topic here, but unfortunately we didn't get you back on Steven's show because you and Steven's Broncos did not make the Super Bowl. Are you going to be watching it on the bus ride back? Do you still have a rooting interest in the Super Bowl? Or do you care? Or is it just going to be, hey, I'm tossing it aside?
Yeah, I mean, as a big football fan, I'll watch, and I guess I care. It's an interesting game for sure. Seattle's tough. They're solid on both sides of the ball. When you look at New England, I think they have the ability to beat anybody. But that's an interesting team right there. They probably had the easiest path throughout a 17-game schedule, and the way the playoffs fell for them on making a Super Bowl. So it'll be fun to watch, like any Super Bowl will be. But yeah, it's a little frustrating that our quarterback was out, or else I think that I get through 5 games of coaching softball on the weekend and get to throw my Bronco gear on. But proud of the season that they had and the future that they have for Denver. But yeah, well, it's the Super Bowl. Everyone's going to be watching.
Have you had to watch either of the previous 2 Denver Super Bowls? Have you had to watch them on the bus with like 20 college. Has this happened before? Or were you able to do it in the confines of your own home the last 2 times Denver made it?
I've always been able to watch it at home. So the past 2 times they were in it, I was coaching down south. So we were probably hosting tournaments. And when Denver's in the Super Bowl, I don't care about Super Bowl parties or anything. I don't really want to watch with anybody.
Of course, yeah.
No talking. I'm locked in, and but this weekend, a little different. We can watch with the crew.
What about the Duke Carolina basketball game? You're a big fan of hoops. Who do you like in that one? And will you be able to watch that, or are you guys going to be playing at that time, or what?
I mean, I'll keep an eye on that one on my phone. I mean, I don't know if I should say out loud, but I am a Duke fan, so I follow. It's tougher to football season, so it's more just checking out scores. But my family down in Atlanta watch. My brother and nephew are big. I'll be kind of scouting and paying attention to that score at the same time.
There you go. That's what we like to hear. You can admit that being in Greenville. You just can't admit you like the Wolfpack or the Tar Heels. Other than that, you're good.
Yeah, don't do that. He wouldn't do that. All right. So your first chance to see the Pirates, if you're not in Atlanta this weekend, will be on the ACC Network Extra at noon, and Game 2 to follow against Georgia Tech on Sunday. And again, that will be a 12 noon first pitch for the first of the 2 doubleheaders to wrap up the weekend. And then Game 2 to immediately follow. And then the Pirates will be at home the following weekend. And our first ESPN Plus broadcast will be the matchup against Maryland on the 15th at 12:30 from the Max. Shane, great to have you on, man. Sorry we didn't do it sooner, but we'll talk to you, I'm sure, throughout the course of the season. So looking forward to covering you guys again this year, and obviously the conference tournament in May.
Absolutely. No, appreciate you having me. We're excited. It's finally go time.
There you go. Shane Winkler, one of our favorites. Thanks for being with us, Coach. Take care. We'll come back, and Pilk and I will put the wraps on this edition of the Patrick Johnson Show right after these words.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring needs.
And now, the stunning conclusion.
Why is everyone screaming?
On 94.3 The Game.
So you might be wondering why NASCAR is racing tonight for the Clash, the preseason race that they did in L.A. for a few years that they're doing in Winston-Salem at Bowman Gray Stadium. And the reason they're doing that is because of the snow this weekend. But it's a Wednesday night. This leads me to something that we've talked about. It's been talked about for years on other shows I've hosted when we have NASCAR guys. You talk to some of the drivers, they don't oppose the idea. But would NASCAR benefit from doing some midweek races for television, especially when you get into the latter part of the year where the races are supposedly more meaningful and you're deciding your champion and you're competing with football? Because I've always thought the season's just too darn long. Really, it is. It's too long of a season. But it's been that way for years, and they're not going to go back. So I think a couple things, Pilk, for me: return to some of these vintage tracks, and which they're doing slowly but surely. And let's do some things that include a little thinking outside the box as far as our presentation goes.
Yeah, you mentioned they won't shorten the season. And you're right, Patrick. They will not go away from 36 races. Kyle Larson this offseason said that he was not asking to go away from 36 races. He was asking for the season to end earlier. He said, give us midweeks. I asked Bob Pockrass about it last week. Is this a thing on the table? I think it is. Now, is the governing body actually considering it? I don't know. Fans are open to it. The drivers are open to it. People like Bob, our friend Jeff Gluck, they're open to it in the media. Now, obviously, there's only certain tracks you can do midweeks at, right? They've got to be close to home, and you got to almost have back-to-back, we ran on a Wednesday, and then we turn around and run Sunday. They both need to be close tracks, but you've got...
It's got to be a loop.
Yeah, but think about it. You've got Darlington, Charlotte, Bristol, if Rockingham gets back on the schedule, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro. There are plenty in the area that this can be done. Richmond, thank you. I knew I was leaving something out. That this can be done. It's not a matter of how. It's a matter of whether or not they're going to, have the guts to do it. And, sometimes the governing body of NASCAR, they don't have the guts to do a lot of things. But I like this tonight. It's going to be great.
I just saw the promo, 25 years this year since Dale Earnhardt was killed.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It is.
All right, we will be off tomorrow, but back on Friday. Looking forward to our Friday show. It's our Super Bowl edition. We've got rough confirmation from one of our guests, Schwartz on Sports, Channel 12. He is a Seattle fan. Zach Kaplan is a fan of the Patriots, so he'll be on from Channel 9 representing the Pats, so that'll be a debate. And then Dugan from WITN Sports will be on since NBC is airing the Super Bowl this year. They need some promo help, clearly. All right. Take care, everybody. I'll be good and right as rain by Friday.